Welcome back to the kickoff. Newcastle United have finally made a signing. I'm absolutely fucking delighted, lads. Can't lie. I mean, is he the best signing, that we could have hoped for? I don't know. But I think it's a solid signing. However, 52 million plus 3 in add-ons for Elanga. A lot of people raised their eyebrows at that. Obviously, Man United let him go 2 years ago for only 15 million. I just wanted to start by asking you lot as objectively, is this Newcastle overpaying for Elanga?
So who wants to go first?
I think that, what was his goals and assists last season, Brian?
You fucking put us on the spot now. I believe, fuck me, let me check.
Go to Dictionary Corner. Josh will know.
yeah. Josh, that's that boy right here.
I'm pulling it.
He had 6 goals, 11 assists.
Yeah, in the league.
In the league. And in the EFL Cup, he had 0.
In 31 starts, to be fair.
Mate, 17 GA in 31 starts. I'll say this now. There's going to be a lot of players, a lot of worse players than that, move for more than 50 million quid this summer. I mean, that is... There's talk.
To your club, probably.
I didn't want to get onto that yet, thanks,
I'm sorry. We'll do that later.
No, do you know what I will say? Talk about our club. Every time our club's mentioned, there's talk that we want a left winger. And every time David Ornstein, who's a very good outlet for our club, speaks, he always mentions Anthony Gordon. Now, I think if Anthony Gordon were to move this summer, you'd want, 70? Something like that?
I'll be honest. I think because it's part of the problem with us is it's what then happens after that. Like, how do we replace him? And I think because of that, it puts the price up even above 70 personally.
So if you're saying above 70 million for Anthony Gordon, who is, I think, 25, 26 and got far fewer goals and assists last season, whoever buys him is going to get one contract out of him and pay much higher wages than Elanga. I think when you suddenly start making those comparisons, Elanga looks relatively smart. And again, I don't really want to get onto this, but there are persistent rumours that we're talking 50 million quid for Noni Madueke, who got nowhere near that number of goals and assists last season. So I think the thing for me with you guys getting Elanga, it's just a really nice fit stylistically. When I think of the way Newcastle play football, fast, direct, people running with Isak to people running with Anthony Gordon, this fits what Newcastle do. I think this is a really smart signing for Newcastle, and I think it's a problem position that you've needed a player for a long time.
You've got to remember as well, he's 23, isn't he? Like, I do think he's got scope to improve and get better as a player. And also, I don't think you're going to get, someone coming in when he's 28 and paying, another 50 million and you get your money back. Do you know what I mean? But I do think that there will be some sell-on value around that time. So it's not a complete lost leader in terms of a deal. There's a lot of clubs right now that are having to go for older players that are never going to bring any money back. I still think there's a potential to have Elanga in for 5 years and get some recoup.
Joey said in the track when it first happened, I'm outing him here. He said 10 million over the top for Elanga. It could have been 10 million cheaper. Do you disagree with that, Josh?
I think, look, you've got to
starting a feud between the married couple here, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I like that. Joey, I'm coming for you. I think when you put it into context of a Premier League rival, someone that, Nottingham Forest really do think that they should be competing with you for a Champions League place right now.
They fucking were, weren't they?
And they did, and they want to be doing that again. So I almost am a bit surprised that this deal even has gone through, to be honest with you, or even is close to going through, because they are directly improving a rival. And I don't think it's so egregious a fee. If you're looking in terms of comparable players right now, Madueke will go for a similar amount of money. Similar, maybe slightly less, but similar amount of money. Kudus will go for maybe potentially slightly more, but again, a similar amount of money. So this is kind of like, remember back in the day, it was like a 20, 30 million for a good winger when this is kind of like the going rate now. So while I think if you're looking back into, your Barclays men era, this would be like, fucking hell, this is crazy money. This is like a standard deal now.
I disagree. I'm with Joey. I think you guys are overpaying for him. I heard the wages are not that mad. He's not demanding crazy wages.
Probably that can not given our structures. Our structure.
Yeah, he was on solid. I think he was on about 50 grand a week at Nottingham Forest. So, from the wage point of view, okay, cool. In a business sense, all right, we pay that amount up front, but, the wages are lower. But I still think, Elanga, he is young. He's 23 years old, but 50 million. Like, I know we're in a different age now. Inflation's gone crazy. Money's going crazy in sports. We've seen Ronaldo's deal, but we are paying 50 mil for Cudis.
This is a much better deal.
Kudus is like, you know what I mean? Like,
what's a much better deal, Jacob? Which one?
Elanga's a much better deal than Cudis.
What?
I thought you were saying Kudus. Oh, well.
Elanga's so much more consistent than Cudis. Elanga is fast. He's quicker than him. He's younger than him. He's going to come in on.
I just think he was at a better team last season. We saw what Kudus did in his first season, the season before. He was unplayable. I think last season West Ham really struggled and Nottingham Forest was doing well. But I expect Nottingham, and this is another thing I wanted to say. Sorry, Josh. I don't see Nottingham Forest as a Newcastle rival. Like, last season
they see themselves as that though, don't they?
But their owner, like when their owner got on the pitch and started pushing, having a go at Nuno, he needs to wake up. He needs to come back down to reality because what was happening with Forest, I'm not saying owners and teams can't be ambitious. I'm not here to shit on any club and their ambitions, but that seemed like an anomaly to me. You got to do that again this season for me to actually say, all right, you are actually a top 6 contender. Because I expect us to be back in the fold this season. So Nottingham Forest need to chill out. That's what
Newcastle
I'm saying.
have been in the hunt for Champions League 3 years in a row. We've managed it 2 out of 3. We've got a trophy. So I do think it's fair to say we're above them right now.
You are, because you've been doing it for a few years now. You've been competing.
Just to go back to Elanga, I seen a little graphic online of the last 2 Premier League seasons. Elanga has provided more assists than Saka, Palmer, De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes, Phil Foden, James Maddison. And by the way, let's not forget to Chris fucking Wood, not Alexander Isak, who he plays in the national side with. That's what gets me a bit like, you know what? This could be a fucking masterstroke because when Eddie Howe gets players, how many players have not improved dramatically under Eddie Howe? I mean, it's just fucking a lot of them, isn't it?
I want to go on a limb here. Sorry, early on, and the next season ain't even started. I don't know if it's a wager or what you lot can. I'm saying now, put my neck on the line.
Definitely.
Kudus will put up better numbers than Elanga next season.
Wow.
I'm putting it out there right now. But there's a caveat. No, there has to be a caveat.
No, there's no caveat. You can't say that, Craig. You can't just immediately caveat.
No, because it's not fair, because if Elanga is like playing 38 games in a season and Kudus is fighting with like Sean
but if Kudus is as good as you think he is, he should be starting every single game of the season.
On the line. Kudus will have a better season next season. Let's get the hot takes out early now before pre-season, the pre-season pre-hot takes. Kudus will have a better season next season than Elanga if he signs Spurs, because he hasn't even signed yet.
I think what you've got headline straight away. Don't even have to do the clickbait.
This is why he's on the show.
You've got to remember, I think also, right, it's a bit styles make fights as well. Like, Kudus is a really good player, and I think he solves the problem that you need to solve at Spurs really well, and I think he's therefore a very good signing. But weirdly, I don't think Kudus would be as performative in a Newcastle shirt as he would do in a Spurs shirt, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think the way that Elanga is going to play, hugging that wing, using his pace, using his technique, I think that he fits directly into a Newcastle system. And I actually
He's Jacob Murphy 2.0.
Oh, that is harsh.
Jacob Murphy 2.0.
Craig,
do you know what? No, I'm being harsh. I am being harsh because I do like Elanga. I'm acting like I don't like Elanga when I really do. But I just don't think I'm saying when Kudus got announced yesterday, potentially the here we go came, there was real excitement around that. I don't sense that excitement from Brian. It's not radiating through this screen, and I don't sense the same excitement from Newcastle fans. Because that shows me the cachet Kudus actually has over Elanga.
It's nothing against Elanga. I think it's because in my head I'm like, we're still fucked next season. A right winger is great, and we've needed one for a long time. But it's really like one of many that we need. And I'm still not sitting here feeling like, right, bring on the Premier League and the Champions League and everything that's coming. I feel like we're nowhere near ready. One thing I will say about Elanga that really does make me feel positive is he is an Eddie Howe player to a T, in that even when Man United were going through the shit that they've been through, and so many players have been slated for their work ethic, one of the shining lights in that situation with Ranić was Elanga. He backed him. He said, look, this kid turns up and puts 100%. You watch his workouts. It's very rare you see a Premier League player do a workout and you're like, oh, that's amazing. Like, most of the time it's just standard stuff, right? This kid puts himself through hell. You can tell. And he's the fastest player in the Premier League for a reason. It's not through just natural ability.
Well, is he official? He's officially the fastest.
He can do 100 meters in under 11 seconds. This kid,
he's faster than Van der Ven.
He's a freak, mate.
His hamstrings work as well.
Yeah. Everyone's getting it.
Can I just say, I'm really shocked by the disparity in optimism between you two. Like, Brian, I don't get why you're so down on this season.
I'm not. I'm just right. Okay. We've got a right winger, but do you know what we need? We need a backup for Isak, / number 10, which Pedro would have been perfect for. Now he's fucking flying. I'm not thrilled. We need a backup for a fullback, because if Lewis Hall or Livramento get injured, which both have had, we're really going to be struggling then. We need a centre back, because Fabian Shaw can't fucking start a game, for Christ's sakes. We're trying to haggle over Sean Longstaff's fee for Leeds right now for 12 million when it's pure profit. He's got 1 year left on his contract. And if any of our three-man midfield gets injured, Eddie Howe has no faith in anyone coming in. I can really see a repeat right now of what happened a couple of years ago when we got into the Champions League and it all fell to bits. And I thought we would have been more proactive. We've been courting this Trafford, the goalkeeper, for God knows how long, and it's just ridiculous. What are we waiting for? We're literally starting pre-season any minute now, and I just thought more would have been done. Do you know what I mean?
But you look around the league, mate, no one's done that much. It's only really starting to kick into action now. Obviously, there's still clubs at the Club World Cup, so if you're trying to poach a player from one of those, you're kind of waiting until they get back. There's still a lot of players who are on holiday who haven't reported back for pre-season.
Our circumstances have changed a lot, though. A lot of clubs haven't gone from not Champions League to Champions League, right? For example, Chelsea are built for it, you lot are built for it. We're nowhere near ready for it, and that's all I'm worried about right now.
It sounds to me like you need a versatile forward and a versatile defender, and then you need to be confident that someone like Lewis Miley can be trusted in that midfield. And if you're going to get if Longstaff's going to go, I don't think Eddie's going to let someone leave that midfield and not come in. Mate, and then to flip it to Craig, mate, I know you guys are happy about Cudis moving. Do you know who else is happy about Cudis moving? West Ham fans. Yeah. There's a lot of West Ham fans who aren't happy with his consistency there, and who see him. Are you not
worried, Craig? Because 5 goals and 3 assists, right, for a £50 million signing, that is that's a lot.
He punched up half your team. He got in a fight with your team.
Yeah, I like that, man. Let's
are you not worried about the numbers?
Let's have a bit of fire in you, man. We need a bit more fire in
the numbers on Elanga level numbers.
Yeah, look, like I said, the last season wasn't as good as the previous season. That's 100%. But West Ham were in a strange season last season, and honestly, I feel like Thomas Frank, what he's shown with certain players so far, especially at Brentford, the way he kind of works with the players, he gets the best out of little. Do you know what I mean? And Kudus has a lot of talent. Him and who was the other marquee player in West Ham again?
Bowen.
That season, 2 seasons ago, they were ridiculous handfuls, and he was definitely one of those players. So I don't know, maybe I'm just being optimistic. I feel like Thomas Frank has identified him for a reason, and I believe Thomas Frank, of what he's shown with the players at Brentford, I feel like he can bring that back out of Kudus. That's the optimism I'm having in that situation. But yeah, last season's stats weren't great.
It's a lot of money for Spurs, who, can be a bit frugal, right?
We pay 50 million for Brennan Johnson. Do you know what I mean? He scored the goal that won us the Europa League, to be fair.
Yeah, it paid off.
So,
that's a £50 million goal.
And do you know what? You lot know, we were doing the kickoff last season. You know how much I was on the anti-Ange train, right? And wanted him out. So, the fact that he's gone, I'm just looking forward to next season. It's a fresh slate. I want this.
To be careful what you wish for, because if it doesn't go great now, everyone will be blaming you for wanting Big Ange out.
How can it get worse than 17th? The worse than 17th is you're in the championship.
Yeah.
So you've got a base already to start at to do better. Obviously, the trophy's a whole different thing, but I'm talking strictly Premier League here. In the Premier League, the only way really is up.
Can I ask Josh what you think of the 50 million for Kudus?
Well, look, Chelsea are in for him, and a lot of Chelsea fans are really excited about the potential to have Kudus in. I think we saw him as an ancillary left winger, to come in and play for us. Ultimately, I do think that's a really good signing for Spurs, to be fair. And if you're talking about fee, we were talking about paying 55 plus add-ons. And I think the total package that Spurs are rumoured to be paying is 50 odd million. So I honestly think that's a good amount of money. And while he's inconsistent, I think he's got moments of excellence that I think that Spurs are missing in terms of, their play on the pitch. And I do think with a manager like Thomas Frank, in terms of how well he's going to drill that team, I think that Kudus could have a breakout season. I honestly am.
He's only 24 years old. People forget that.
I wouldn't say I'm worried about Spurs. There's teams in the Premier League that I'm worried, and I don't mean to denigrate Spurs, but I'm not worried about them. But I do think that Thomas Frank is going to prove a lot of people how good he actually is as a manager. He's just too pragmatic and smart to have them anywhere near the bottom of the league.
And he's going to start with the Super Cup. Yeah. He's going to start with the Super Cup. All right? He's going to win a Super Cup just to set it off. That's the first thing.
Are you saying you're better than Real Madrid?
No, we got PSG.
Yeah, but PSG just fucking destroyed Real Madrid. But
but we're not going to. Real Madrid try to play them. We're not going to try and play them. That's a good thing about Thomas Frank. He's very versatile and he can adapt. We'll sit back.
You're going to set piece them.
We're not going to beat PSG, let's be honest. We're going to get destroyed.
Let me bring us on to another £50 million plus winger in Noni Madueke, who I can't believe I'm saying this because last season Madueke got 7 goals and 3 assists. 3 of those 7 goals came in one game. So if he'd missed that game, we were looking at 4 goals and 3 assists, and yet Chelsea have just rejected a £50 million offer from Arsenal. I can't believe that the cheek of Chelsea, these guys, they're the best sellers in the whole of football, by the way. I don't know how they do it. And now, a word from our sponsors. If you're bored of the football this summer, we've got something that's going to make it much more exciting. For the rest of the Club World Cup, you need to check out Match Bingo. You can download the app on the App Store now on iOS or Android using the link in the description below, and Match Bingo lets you follow everything that's going on in the games you care about in real time. When you sign up and start playing, you'll get a card full of 15 match event coins. These represent goals, corners, offsides, throw-ins, that sort of thing. So in a game, you'll get 6 for one team, 6 for the other, and the middle 3 are for both sides. During the game, these coins will flip over and turn purple as they happen. And if you're the first to get one line of these coins matching, you'll get a prize. And if you hit all 15 of your coins, you'll get a full house and win the main prize pot. So no more boring games. Every throw-in, every dodgy offside, every card becomes more fun with Match Bingo. And they've already paid out over 200 grand, and when you get 4 cards, you get 1 free. So download the app today, use the QR code on the screen now, where you can click the link in the description below and start playing. So big thanks to Match Bingo for sponsoring us today, but for now, enjoy the video. Jacob, how do you feel like knowing that Arteta is prioritising a player who you would have probably wanted down the list, and that you're not even able to get him for 50 million with those kind of numbers?
I think at some point you have to walk away from a deal, Brian, even for such a good player as that. There are times where I'm just so confused by it. I'm just like, and I think it's one of them where I'm going to have to judge it at the end of the window. Do you know what I mean? If we get a Rodrigo or an Eze, and this guy is coming in to be our 4th choice winger, and to be fair, I've been panicking about Saka. I've been panicking about the way we overuse him. I look at a player like Raheem Sterling, who was with us last season, who gets to 29 years old, and he's done. His legs are done because he's been overplayed it from a young age. It's exactly what we're doing with Saka. So I can't sit here and complain that we're buying backup for Saka, but 50 million quid. And I know that there's some like stats nerds who like Madueke who reckon he's got something in him and could push on. But like, if this means we're not going to do a Rodrigo or not do an Eze, and especially if this means we're seeing him as a left wing option as well, I don't mean to be dramatic, but this is like a project killer. This is where, bear in mind, we're going into next year. It's kind of win or bust, right? If we don't get a big trophy next season, the banners are coming. The planes are flying over the stadium. And I think Arteta himself will say, you know what, the message is going to get stale. I can't go into phase 7 of a project. But Noni Madueke, I mean, Josh.
Do you think this is an Arteta signing, Jacob? Do you think this is Arteta identifying him? Do you think this is a club signing? Like, where do you think this is coming from?
Surely.
I just can't see. Like, the thing is, with like Gyökeres, I do think that's Berta. I do think he's coming from the continent. He's got links with big agents like Jorge Mendes, who obviously works for Sport in Lisbon a lot. We weren't linked with Gyökeres before Berta came in. Suddenly Berta's here, and now we can't do Sesko, so fair enough, we're doing plan B with Gyökeres. And I don't really mind that so much, but like, I have to believe this is Arteta because I just can't see that Atletico Madrid sporting director has come into the Premier League and gone, right, get me Chelsea's 7th least favourite winger, please. That's the one I've been watching. Like, I think all of us as Arsenal fans, we just don't get it. It doesn't really make much sense.
Have you seen the hashtag 15, online?
20 million, mate, there's a petition.
no to Madueke. They've started a hashtag. It's actually ridiculous.
Oh, God. He's getting treated worse than Thomas Partey did.
That's what someone said. They said, how are you starting a
more
hashtag?
Support than Madueke.
That's what they said. How have you done a hashtag no to Madueke, but they haven't done a no to Partey? Like, you never did that. It's hilarious.
Do you know what Jacob's saying, though? This is a project killer, though. That has been on my mind because it's like, it is such a out there signing where you're like, what? Like, and yeah, like backup for, Saka, but you've got like Nwaneri who did really well filling in for him.
And hasn't signed a contract yet. He hasn't signed a contract. And there's a part of me going, you've got an 18-year-old kid who could be the next big thing. He could be what Saka is to us now. And this is, so many of his minutes came on the right wing. I know it's not his pure best position, but his best position is behind our captain. So he's not going to get loads of minutes there. You have to give him a pathway to first team football. And you're going to put Noni Madueke, 23 years old, 50 million quid fee in his way. Like, you have to understand if this kid and his agent are going, sorry, where are my minutes next year if you're going to put him in my way and I've got to unseat the captain as well?
Josh, I want to ask you, because sorry, Brian, Josh, you know Madueke, obviously we don't know him, but you watch him.
Best mates.
A lot more than we do, because obviously he's at Chelsea. What is he rated or what is the deal?
Do you know what is so funny with him is he goes through fits and starts at Chelsea. He'll have a few games where he'll be unplayable and score goals and look really good. And also, unfortunately, Noni Madueke, against him, he was playing with Nicholas Jackson. And there's so many occasions where Noni has beaten a player, laid the ball on a plate for Nicholas Jackson. He's skied it over the bar. He's missed by a million miles. And so I think Noni could have actually had about 15 fucking assists last season if we actually had a proper striker.
Really?
Can I quote Joey, though? On the last episode with you and Joey said, I quote, I don't give a fuck if we lose Noni Madueke. That's when you're selling a player for 50 plus million and you don't give a shit. I feel like that just tells you that he's not worth that kind of money, in my opinion. Even if he's a decent buy.
It's the bad apple element of it. Like, basically, Noni is a really, really good player. And on his day, when he's on it and his mentality is there, he is one of our better players, to be completely fair to Noni. But like I said last time we were on the kickoff, it's the mentality, it's the drama around it. It's going to nightclubs after matches. It's taking penalties off Cole Palmer. It's all of that negativity that, quite frankly, a lot of clubs now just go, it's not really worth our time.
He's also been displaced by Neto, by the way. Honey.
I mean, Neto just makes him look like a championship player, though, to be honest.
There you
Neto
go.
is far
when
better.
we talk about the amount of money Arsenal had to spend this summer, this was it, right? This is your chance to add to what is a good squad. You beat Real Madrid, you showed you've got the levels, but you just need the finishing touches. And this was, let's say, 200 million to spend this summer. And what confuses me, and thank God, by the way, is that they didn't go, fuck it, let's just go all out for Alexander Isak. They didn't even try, by the sounds of it. And they went, let's buy a few players and try and upgrade the overall level of the squad. But fair enough. But when you look at the players they're getting, like a Madueke, you're like, I can't help but think at the end of this window, if you could go back and say to Arsenal fans, would you rather have them 4 players or Isak and another? They'd probably have wished they went and just blown the whole lot on Isak, probably.
I think there's an argument for that, but I do think that we were in touch with Isak's representatives and it was always made really clear that he's just not going to move this summer. Personally, I think it might be next summer. Brian, you're obviously concerned about how your squad's going to cope next season. I think if you get to the end of next season, they've not qualified for the Champions League. He's going to have 2 years left on his contract. That's where I think an Isak might move.
I think he's going anyway. I think next summer is when he will go. If he doesn't sign a contract this summer, then we're going to be in a really weakened position next summer. Yeah. And I think that might be why we're looking at Ekitike. Who really, if we bring him in now, it lightens the load on Isak, but it also it gives this kid a chance to get his, feet under the table. And then eventually we let Isak go, Ekitike takes over. Yeah. Then we bring another young lad in. And I think, and on it goes, basically. And
that for me is why, in terms of striker preferences, I've always said Ollie Watkins, because for me personally, that's the best of both worlds in the sense that if I was to place a bet on either Watkins, Sesko or Gyökeres to get the most goals next season, I'm doing Watkins. I also think if you pay about 35 million quid on a 3-year contract, you still leave space to go for Isak next summer. Back to the wingers. This is why I'm not assessing this till the end of the window, because David Ornstein, who is the best outlet for Arsenal news, he said time and time again, they want to do three forwards this window. One's going to be Gyökeres. I'm pretty sure about that. Or there are some whispers that that's a smokescreen and we're still trying to do Sesko. I can't say Sesko with the Invisalign in. The other one is looking like Elanga. If you're telling me it's going to be a number 9 in Gyökeres, who's just scored 60 goals last season, Elanga, fine, plus Rodrigo or plus Eze, I can swallow that.
I do think, honestly, though, Rodrigo is a bit of a time waster. I think if it was my decision, I'd be going for Eze, and then I'd be literally saying to Rodrigo, I was like, at the end of the day, I don't know if you're actually going to come to us. I think he might be like planning a move to a big team like a Bayern, that sort of thing. I honestly can't see you actually getting him. I honestly just can't. So
the rumours, and this is from good sources, is that Saudi clubs spoke to Rodrigo and his camp said to Saudi clubs, I don't want to go there. If I leave, I want to go to the Premier League with my preference being Arsenal. As an Arsenal fan, it's tough because I do think this is a decision the club are making between Eze and Rodrigo. We've already agreed personal terms with Eze. Eze's a boyhood Arsenal fan who played for our academy. He's done interviews in the past where you might have heard his story in the past, but like he got rejected by a lot of academies. And he said that the one that really hurt him the most was leaving Arsenal's academy. He said he was in tears on a training pitch after knowing he had to leave. There's just something beautiful about bringing him back after he's just won an FA Cup at Palace, 27 years old. For me, he reminds me of like an old school Arteta player, Eze. He reminds me of a Pires, a Rosicky. Do you know what I mean? Just pure technique. He's almost got a bit of Cazorla about him, both feet. He can play quick on the transition. He can break down low blocks. But then Rodrigo is a world-class player. So I think that's a really tough decision.
That's another thing you got to take into account.
That's what I'm saying. And I
think as well, I just think you're going to do this dance where you try and get this player, you aim for the stars, we've been there at Chelsea fans, we try and get like this amazing world-class talent, we waste all of our summer trying to get it, and then we end up getting a B-side.
But Eze
isn't a B-side.
But this is the different approach we're doing now. This is how Berta works, our new sporting director. We chased Sesko for a few weeks, but the difference with Berta is he already had everything wrapped up with Gyökeres. So when Sesko goes quiet or Leipzig don't want to play ball, bang, we do Gyökeres. As you can see already, we've agreed personal terms with Eze. It's done. Yeah. It's ready to go. We're even negotiating with Palace to go lower than the release clause at about a £48 million deal, which, again, you compare that to 50 for Elanga, 55 for Madueke. That's an unbelievable deal for Eze. It feels like what we're doing this window, which is smart, and I will agree with you, the order in which we're making transfers, I don't love seeing Norgard and Madueke come in before we get a striker, but I like that we've got plan Bs ready. And I agree with you. There's no point just chasing Rodrigo the whole window for him to either stay at Madrid, go to Munich, mess us around. But if Eze's there and ready to go, I'm doing that deal.
Let's move on to the Club World Cup, lads, because Joy and Josh, you really think this was a massive deal if you'd watched their chats. They're really loving it. And they're in the final. And look, they might win 120 odd million quid if they beat PSG in this final game. And it is a one-off game. As much as PSG are the best footballing side we've seen in a long time. And also, João Pedro is hitting it off for them nice. And as a Newcastle fan, just wishing we got him. It is making us sick. What do you lads think of this Club World Cup situation and Chelsea getting to the final and basically getting even more money?
First of all, I'm hating like crazy, all right? I know everyone's looking at the Club World Cup like it's just, it's not serious, it's a money grab and all of these sorts of things. But I'm not going to lie, I like the look of that trophy. I like it. I'm with all the gimmicks. I like the look of that trophy. And for Chelsea to be like the first English team to stick that trophy potentially in their cabinet would piss me the fuck off. Like, I don't want to see Mandem FC holding that trophy up in America, just going, do you know what I mean? No, I'm not having that, man. Oh, Sweet Caroline with that nice gold spinning thing that with a key that opens. Like, no, it can't happen, honestly. And the fact that it's not even just the fact of them winning that trophy. It's the fact that if they beat that PSG team, it will give them talk for the whole of next season. Like, we actually beat probably the best team in the world, club football. Like, they are the best team in the world, PSG, right now. That's a fact. So if Chelsea were to and Chelsea are the one team as well that's capable of doing something just insanely outrageous like that. Like, they should not have beat Man City in that Champions League final, but somehow they beat
Well, this would mean they've got every trophy possible.
And then for them to add that to it would just be like, for fuck's sake, how do they pull this stuff off? That's all I'm trying to work out, how they always manage to pull it. They're in the Todd Bowley era. This stuff should not be happening. Like they shouldn't. And I know it was a conference league and no one cares about that trophy, but the fact that they even like got to spin it and go, yeah, we completed the set and then, like, they're just kind of quietly getting little accolades here and there. I don't like it, man. Obviously, Josh, I think if you lot win it, that is something to really celebrate personally, because there were some serious teams in world football in that competition.
Jacob, the thing that Joey and Josh are singing and dancing about, I've seen the social clip about how Maresca in one season will have accomplished more than Arteta has in his entirety as Arsenal manager. That was the conclusion. What do you make of that?
Do you want to explain that, Josh?
I mean, I don't need to explain it, mate. Like, it's quite simple. How many trophies has Arteta won?
1 FA Cup. 1 Community Shield.
If Maresca wins his next game, mate, Community Shield, fuck off with your Community Shield. Right. Jose Mourinho is the only serious manager that has ever counted that as an actual trophy.
Would you rather
Do not even go there.
Would you rather win a Conference League, having toured around Eastern Europe, looking at the stadiums with train sets inside them and playing on a Thursday night against Postmen, or would you rather win a Community Shield, which means that you won one of the 2 biggest trophies in Britain?
Jacob, I would rather do the season that we've just done, bearing in mind the Club World Cup will fall into this season, and I will have taken the 10th places every other season if it avoided bottling
that double
like you've done for the last 5 years.
That double in a season from Maresca is better than anything Arteta has done if he does it. It is.
I will take the trophies. I will take the accolades, because if we win this game against PSG, which is by no means a guaranteed, PSG are exceptional, but it's a one-off game. We will get a badge on our shirts, Jacob. Just prepare yourself for this, because you're not going to like it. We'll get a badge on our shirts for the next 4 years saying that we are champions of the fucking world. Not of Europe, which, by the way, you haven't done too well in.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Of the fucking world. So how, honestly, how can Arteta say that he's there for
prize money alone, Jacob, make it better than anything? Like the FA Cup and...
Okay, let's deal with the prize money first of all. I've seen a lot of this. What are we going to do if Chelsea win the Club World Cup? Chelsea have had money for a long time. It makes no fucking difference.
Doing that.
You give them all the money in the world.
Is it $1 billion? How much is it? How much is it total? Like, if you rack...
Don't worry, Jacob. No, Craig. One second. Don't worry. We'll buy nonsense and sell it to you.
It's fine. That's true. That they make $1 billion, the team that win it, all in, like, all the rounds, TV rights.
No. The billion prize pool is the total from the entire tournament.
All the
so how much is it if you actually win it?
All of the prize pool, but if we win it, I think it's about $130 million.
Okay, and then you add all the TV rights money from each round, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah, no, that's everything. That's all of the money. That's everything.
It's 120 million quid, which is almost as much as they get when they sell a car park to themselves. No, you're not going to beat PSG. You're not going to beat PSG. This is, it's like, God, if Chelsea do this, they're going to have a better season than Arsenal, but they're not going to do that. It's like saying if we'd have beaten PSG and won the Champions League, we'd have had a better season than everyone else. Yeah, we would, but we didn't. And you're not going to beat PSG.
This is the beauty of it though, Jacob, is that in a final, anything can happen for Chelsea. Anything can absolutely happen. And I think if you look at it, we do have quality on the team right now. We got to pray that Caicedo is going to be fit. If he's fit, then we'll give them a game. I think we'll give them a better game than Real Madrid would, to be honest with you. So anything can happen, mate. I'm praying for extra time and pens.
Yes, so am I. Do you know why I'm praying for extra time? Because did you see Guardiola's interview a few days ago where he said this is going to derail next season? We're going to be feeling this in Christmas. We're going to feel it in January. And I mean, look, I know you've got 1,000 players, but this is going to hit those players like Caicedo that you really rely on. This is going to hit players that you need like Cole Palmer. I think you might be enjoying your little run to the final now, and I'm going to very much enjoy watching PSG smack your bums and send you back to West London. But I'd tell you now, mate, this might be something that Chelsea regret come Christmas time when you play.
Do you know what, Jacob? Jacob, you've got to pray that we don't win, because we are going to be insufferable if we do. Like, it's going to be really horrible.
No, I think, do you know what it is, Josh? I love you, bro, but, and you know, I appreciated you kind of minorly supporting Newcastle in our cup final, but equally, you having this fucking star or whatever the fuck it is on your shirt for 4 years, champions of the world and all that, it's not bearable. Joey alone, for the internet's sake, we can't fucking have this. We need PSG to win, because that fucker, he's so gloating. Even now, he's gloating as if he's predicted everything that's ever happened, right? He's the oracle, all right? We need Chelsea to lose.
What was better? You didn't ask what was better. You didn't ask what was better. Charity Shield and FA Cup or the World Cup and the Club World Cup and the conference. You didn't answer that.
Community Shield over the Conference League. I admit it.
The reason we get to Community Shield is because
that's crazy.
On a Saturday afternoon, I get to go to the Emirates and watch us win football matches.
Yeah, but that's just one game.
Is what it's all about.
It's one game. You're just playing one game. Like, at least even the Conference League, despite the competition being poor, you still have to slug it out and beat many teams. It's a bit more of a marathon.
But this is my point, though, Craig. The reason we finish higher than them in the table every single season is because in that marathon, we just win games. Meanwhile, they're fucking about on a Thursday, going to Ludogorets, whilst losing on a Saturday afternoon to Fulham.
It is funny, though, because I think when you are in those tournaments, and when you're competing for those types of trophies, like you've had it when you're in the secondary tournament in Europe as well. You want to win it. I mean, I remember that final. You were desperate to win that final against us. In the secondary tournament. So
different times, different
Europa League. I think Europa League has a bit of prestige, doesn't it?
Yeah, Europa League means something more so than the Conference League. But look, the fact of the matter is, you can only win the tournament that you're in, and we went and won it. And also, like, I think a European trophy, I'm sorry to say it, a lot of people might disagree with me, but a European trophy is worth more to me than a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup these days, because the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup is full of teams playing their B teams and a lot of teams that don't really want to even be in the tournament. So I personally feel that they're worth more. The Conference League, the Europa League, way more.
Josh, we're literally finding out new names of new teams that we didn't even know exist in the Conference League. At least if you're playing a second string of a fucking team in an English cup, you know who the fuck they are.
The way you slag off Noah FC is a joke. They're a quality outfit. They really are. They really are.
Mate, I was watching you and Joy thinking, I've never fucking heard of this team they're talking about in my life. Like, not once. Never, ever. But anyway, we'll agree to disagree, lads. We've got to wrap this up. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to The Kickoff. We'll see you on the next one.